ESP, this ethnographic sampling project that we've been started putting together as a bit of an experiment in social networking and how to utilize this for doing kind of deep dive research. And the whole idea around digital anthropology and all of that. Quick little idea around why we do what we do, why I do what I do. By training, I'm an ethnographer, again, an anthropologist. It's a branch of anthropology. And basically, it comes down to these 3 points. Anthropology is trying to figure out why people do what they do, right? What we say and what we do really aren't always in line with each other, especially in the virtual world, right? As an example of that, when I come over here and sit down beneath this, you know this is weird. That's culture. We just know that's wrong, right? What frequently happens when we look at social media monitoring and quantifiable stuff is we simply ask the wrong question. We go around this room and we do a survey, right, and ask, how many do you want me to slap you? How many want me to punch you? I'm going to get a statistically reliable answer, but it's irrelevant. That's what happens frequently when we go out on the web and start looking at the numbers that are generated with social media monitoring. We don't really understand what's going on in the back. So what our idea is then is applying anthropology, cultural anthropology, to figure out what's kind of going on behind the scenes and why it's going on. Should we hit video? This is the scene what we're going to be talking about. Before you hit it, long story short, we're trying to develop something right now, it's still in the experimental phase, called the ethnographic sampling project. And the idea is that by leveraging social media, we can tap into moments of time around the world. So if we give people a challenge around something like the one we just finished, what's the window mean, right? Well, that seems like a pretty obvious thing initially. What's glass? I look through it, I look out at the world. Then you start to dissect it and look at what that means in Paris, right? That it's a way of keeping in touch. It's a way of signaling to the people across the street something very important. If you are talking about college town, you can't see through anyone's windows. They're blacked out, man, because no one wants to see you getting high, right? That's the kind of mentality that college kids really have. The suburbs are a different thing. And the idea is you can actually apply this to the social media. Here we go. This is just our cool groovy thing. Because we're groovy. We can actually look at the news. Absolutely nothing to me. So that's my job now. What are we looking for when we do this? Basically, weekly we send out a challenge, right? And people will submit a couple minutes of video, a series of pictures, have commentary with it. The idea is we get this from all over the world. We're getting stuff from, obviously, here and in LA, where the other office is, New York. We've had it coming from Ireland. We've had people following us from Russia and all over the world. And the idea is that at the end of this challenge, you can go through and kind of dissect it from an anthropological perspective. And you're essentially tapping into the idea of crowdsourcing and expanding that research method that we use when we do field work, right? And expanding that out to the whole world. Okay. Yeah?
You guys work with people like to get data separate from what you're putting out, or do you just do your own database of these?
As it applies to this specific?
As it applies to like anthropological study of what's going on.
Yeah. We tap into a lot of sources. It's part of the thing behind digital anthropology is the idea of, yeah, you might want to be talking to a company about banking, cars, or whatever. But, as an example of that, banking really doesn't have much to do with rational behavior. Money is weird and it's not real to us, right? So, tapping into people then from a wide range of backgrounds with this, but also tapping into things like The Economist, going out into the field work, poking around in people's homes at midnight when they're trying to balance the checkbook or load it. That's an effective and powerful tool to understand what's really going on. But again, as it relates to social media, this has become a great avenue for us to gather data on kind of a global level. It's not the same sort of depth to get to go hang out with somebody for a couple of weeks. but it's broad. It's global. It gives you an idea of what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, because those companies actually are, they're like Nielsen. They give you data on what's going on.
You know, my view is there's a lot of generated data. Numbers are great, don't get me wrong. I taught statistics one year. It was the worst year of my life. But they're only good to a point. They never really explain why. And this is the sort of thing that helps you get behind the scenes. Why does all this stuff matter? So what that we saw a spike on Twitter from December 3rd to December 4th around bacon? Well, there's probably a reason, right? And now you got to figure out what drove that behind. So this sort of thing kind of helps us with doing that stuff.
What about things like monitor systems like Radiant 6 or locally here Spiral 16? Would you see any worth? I mean, it absolutely is there, but there's so much data to filter, right? These things are just streamed.
Oh, that's nothing, man. That's just numbers. That's
and there's tons of stuff that need an anthropologist. I think that anthropologist needs to be there to really build the local trends and stuff. Do you see that being the future? Because you're like building data.
I mean, I don't think you should ever replace data. I'm the first person to say as an anthropologist, do not, if you want statistically reliable data, do not come to me. However, don't fixate on the numbers. The numbers are an element that help drive to figure out the right questions to ask as you move down the road. You can only get through a more qualitative approach. So they do a great job. Radiant 6, we use them. Spiral 16, a lot of it comes down to simply, I would argue the data they generate is massive, but it's still numbers. Based on a single activity, and what we're usually doing is trying to figure out 10,000 different activities and how they matter. And that's a messy, sloppy job.
You look at those maps and you don't know how to get the outliers. If you're just somebody off the street would know why this influences him, even if you've got that whole web of information those kind of softwares give you.
So the bigger obstacle isn't getting the signal to noise ratio, it's learning from people learning something from someone that they won't tell you.
Yeah, because frequently people don't know what they don't know, right? I mean, if you go into any home and ask somebody, is it important that you have fresh food? Sure, yeah, and they won't shut up about it. And then you start poking around in the garbage, right? And you find something else out. Or you just don't even know to ask the right question. The Windows example we gave, all of a sudden people start talking to you about, well, I have these blinds up because I can stare across the street and see the guy in the apartment across me, and that's weird. In Paris, that's normal. That's a normal behavior in Paris, right? That tells you something significant about what, we're all selling things to people, right? So if your client, say, a window blind manufacturer, that tells you something important about how people use windows. No one gives a damn when you say, oh, it has this wood or this feature. They don't care. It's more important why they're framing the window, right? And it's digging into this sort of method allows you to dig in and understand the stuff that's about it. So we're going to have a challenge for you guys, and you're all going to jump on it. You're going to love it. But you don't know what it is. You wrote it.
I did.
So
actually, JP wrote it.
We're going to show you how to go out here and get to it. Right now, it's just 2west, right, .com/ESP. So can you click? And that kind of that'll give you the movie and what is ESP, and it's really tapping again into that idea of the citizen anthropologist. Right now we're doing this on Postgres, eventually it'll migrate to our own site. Again, still in the experimental phase, this is still the beta, so you guys are beginning phase. But when you go out there and you click ESP, it takes you to the site, this is challenge number 9, right? And the thing really revolves around where do you get information. Well, that seems pretty obvious to everyone who's got a phone out,